makes them, it's too airy for them. So they could well be 1 or 2 trees deep on these clearings, nibbling at that fresh grass.
Yeah.
There's not much happening. Slowly move up.
Rightio. Sounds good to me, mate. If you have to protect what you have in terms of your assets here or your houses in town, you'll do that to the bitter end.
I mean, material possessions, no. If it come to a threat to the family, then I believe every person would step up to the plate. How would you react to a situation if you thought there was a real threat to you and your kin?
Oh, look, I think every bloke's possibly contemplated that, as horrific a thought as it is. And, you know, there's the PC answer, which is that, you know, you'd possibly do everything you could to avoid, you know, a physical conflict. And then there's the truth. And the truth involves snapping things and winding things and and most of your targeting's been around the groin area. Did you do that on purpose? You're a nasty man if you did.
The sights were slightly under-adjusted.
Rightio, we've got 4 up the snort of this. We've got 4 cans. You go first to put the pressure on. 2 each, eh?
OK.
Which ones are you going for, just in case?
I'll go for the ones on the left.
Oh, those ones that are sitting up. Far out. Bit to the right.
At that range, you shouldn't miss. Admittedly, I'm not the best shooter, but the scope has been knocked.
Perfect. Now I know that they're exactly 6 inches to the right. Let's go. I'm going for the green one, because it looks the easiest. You beauty! Brilliant. Brilliant.
I got no comment.
Must have gone right in the bum of it and come out there. Bit of a fluke. 1. I tell you what, team, I'm not too bloody worried about the invasion of other people. It's more these mosquitoes, mate. Is there any surefire solution to ensure we can make it through the night?
No.
Well, we haven't found one, mate. Every single promise that companies make about their product doesn't work out here.
Oh, and these are just the teasers before the big boys come in after nightfall. I've got to go and find my bed, and it's getting very, very dark. Got to do so while I can still see and rip into a night in the bush. You be. I've just got this song going through my head of Bob Marley's. And one of the quotes is, "Cold ground was my bed last night and rock was my pillow too." And that's exactly what I'm going to go through right here, right now. I can't say that I'm predicting a good night's sleep, but I tell you what, it's been an interesting day. I don't know quite whether I'm coming or going with this lot. I mean, I can kind of get the whole preparation stuff, but I don't get the inevitability of there being some cataclysmic event that causes civil unrest to such a magnitude that life in New Zealand is not what it is now. I'm going to find more questions and more answers tomorrow, but hopefully I can get a few hours sleep. Hope I don't get any visitors Friday night. Well, that's quite possibly the single worst sort of 8-hour period of my life. I started getting devoured by things that weren't bugs. They were like, you know, mosquito bats that were coming out of the bloody trees and just boring their helmets into me and sucking and removing blood in vast quantities. So I came down here and jumped in here, and they followed me, didn't they? Almost taking the piss. I've been bursting to go to the toilet for the last 6 hours, but I'm too afraid to pull it out in case they jump into that and start draining it. Oh, are they still around?
And things start hitting the fan, and they've been preparing the place for quite a while.
What have you got in the box?
Some food, you know, some utensils, some clothing, just stuff like that.
There's no risk of the creek flooding up this high, is there?
No, well, I was hoping not, but this is basically the first one we ever did, just as an experiment, yeah.
Mate, you buried this pretty well.
Oh, I don't know. I thought I did at the time, but now I see the water's got it, and from the bottom it's not looking as good as it did.
Yeah, well, it's tucked in against the bank, eh? Jeez, it's got in there, the water, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's damp in here, eh?
And
So
the
wonder
pastures
2
all
years ago that Maggie had a bumper year, you've got about 400 these Maggie 5-minute noodles or 2-minute noodles.
You're gonna need more than that, but that's a good start for a few days. You know, 'cause
Isn't it?
to me, this isn't just for me. This is for me and whoever's with me. It could be 20 people, you know. So
Yeah.
this is just to feed us for a few days while we get hunting and fishing and catching stuff.
So it's like a safety kit, really, isn't it? So, I mean, this is almost what Civil Defence tell you to put together, but you've got no water. But then, in saying that, you've got a damn good creek beside you. They've put a lot of thought into their planning, and while I don't share their concerns about pending Armageddon, there are times I find myself agreeing with them.
I love that saying, the most important things aren't things. I love
Material
that saying.
possessions, yeah, I agree with you
But
entirely.
because we're in a society where that's expected, like I said, whether you and I believe that's good or not, it's the way it is. The capitalist dream is that you have to do better, all the time do better, so people are, you know...
Well, it's not a dream, it's a nightmare, you know, if you want to chase it.
Yeah,
But
that's
do you
right,
believe
yeah.
that that nightmare is sufficient?
It's making people misery, mate.
Yeah, but do you
Miserable.
think that that collective misery or nightmare is sufficient to drive everyone into civil chaos?
Well, it's already
to
happened.
the extent that we've got to actually bury cachet cases full of, you know, everything that we can survive in the middle of nowhere through
For a long
horrible,
term, yes.
in a horrible winter.
Yeah, I mean, to answer that one simply, yes, I believe that it's going to get that bad.
Ah, the hunter-gatherer, he's back.
Lunch for today.
These guys surprised me. I was prepared to meet a bunch of grown-up Boy Scouts forming a private army, but the reality is a little different. They seem genuinely worried about the direction the world is travelling, and if things fall apart, they're getting ready to head to the hills. There's a fair bit of military-style training involved, but it seems to centre around defending themselves if society collapses and comes looking for them. Let's just hope they'll never need to bring any of those skills into play. But before I leave the camp, I've received a special invitation to partake in their fight club. It's an important part of the weekend, and apparently it's quite an honour to be invited. I'm just not sure if it's because I made a good impression or the complete opposite. And they've given me the Jimmy finger because I'm getting in and fighting apparently 8 of them, one after the other, finishing with none other than Jason. Shit, he's just given his own son a bleeding nose. I mean, this could turn nasty. If he does that to family, what's he going to do to an imposter? This isn't full contact, is it? No. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Cheers, bro. Oh, no. Bullet. Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry.
You're right. Oh, cheers, mate. 1 minute to go. If I can get through this, I'll be a happy man. But he's a lot bigger than me, and I saw him pick up a couple of stones, so just keep out of reach, keep out of reach.
You ready?
No.
Ding, ding. Jason, get down. Hey, mate. Jason, got him, mate. Got him. 5, 4, 3.
Oh, thank God for that. Oh, cheers, Cole, mate. That was
Thank you, mate.
that was epic. What a weekend.
Yeah, very good. Thanks for coming, mate.
But before I go, I have one last challenge, and that's to wrap this show with one take. I reckon it's a pretty long bow to draw to suggest that New Zealand's going down the gurgler. No, for mine, we're a beautiful country. We've got plenty to be happy with. But in saying that, if it all turns to custard, follow your nose about 4 hours north of Christchurch, look for the lakes, and if you can't find them, rest assured they'll find you.